and I'm a Navy veteran. So, I mean, I was 17 at the time. So you're young, dumb, as the old man used to say, full of cum. That's how they get us out of high school. All right? Brainwash us, condition us to be Marines, Army, whatever, supposedly to protect and defend. And what people don't understand, it's the Constitution, not the people. See, what people don't seem to understand, when people swear an oath, they swear to protect and defend the Constitution, not the people.
That is right.
Now, again, as I've already said in the beginning, if you do not understand, there's only two populations identified in that document. So then who are you protecting and defending under that document? White, male, free, over 21, and landowner. Now, as you go on our continuing conversation about white trash, the mudfill, the crackers, the rednecks, everything else, etc., they don't own the land, right? Yeah, but they don't own the land, right? So then what is law enforcement, the military, any defense mechanism arm of the corporate United States of America? What is it protecting and defending? Who does the police office wear to protect and defend? Who does the officers of the court, using all this together with the International Criminal Court down to whatever you have, the local constabulary and the municipal court? What do all of these people have in common? They swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Now, if only white men, free and landowning, are defined as the citizens of the United States, I don't care what you have been given the flavor of citizenship. That's what you're talking about. You got these naturalized people who have been here since the turn of 1900, right? That's when they started all this immigration push. Mm-hmm. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the first Immigration Act right after the census in 1790? I think it might have been 1791 or something like that. I mean, you'll probably get into that eventually.
Yep.
But all of these people who have a flavor of citizenship, okay, they have a varying degree of what is authorized under that jurisdiction. For anybody else who calls themselves Negro, colored, black, African American, you are accepting the status of 3/5 all other persons, which is the definition of the property.
Right.
Meaning, how did you own land as a white man in the United States of America? You started by owning people, correct?
Right.
You only were able to own the land by owning the slaves to till the land. And you still don't own the land. Sean is very correct. I mean, there's no one that holds that. In that mythology of Arthdale Chronicle, they talked about the Ace of Sin or the Great White Wolf, the Mother Deity, whatever, went from the skies to the water, right, son? Now, son?
Yep.
And no one owned the land, right?
Yep.
He said, you make us, but we're not beneath you. What does that mean? You made us, but we're not beneath you. You have a people telling the folks on this land that they have been contracted. We won't get into the optics and the religiosity of their white gods all over the world, whether it's Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, Krishna, Buddha. They all claim to have some variation of an edict that sent these marauding hordes of viral infestation all over the face of this earth and tell what to the people that they come in contact with? This ain't your shit. Now, ironically, on his face is correct when no one can own mama, like Sean says every week. No one can own it. But you damn sure can't take claim to my shit that I inhabit, and you're from where? I don't care where from. You're not from here.
Right.
And that's what our problem is here. We keep going back and forth over this document, and I will keep stressing it because it's extremely important. Indians not taxed. Who the fuck is that, Rhonda? And to state it and declare it in the document, well, first of all, you already know who they described as the Indian. India didn't exist until 1950, so they damn sure weren't talking about them people.
Except for
that name didn't get created until the British colonial invasion of Hindustan. So
Right.
who were the Indians not taxed in the Constitution and the documents being fashioned in 1787 with the territories, the Northwest Ordinance, that's 1787. And 1789 is the actual selection of George Washington. So the Constitution didn't get created till the last decade of the 18th century. Who the fuck were the Indians not taxed?
Exactly.
And by that statement alone, they have no jurisdiction. They wrote in the founding document, they do not have authority over people who are not taxed. Now, taxes by definition is voluntary, isn't it?
Yeah, that's okay.
So and Sean is saying this we are volunteering to hand our black asses over to these white overlords and be their property. So therefore, once you have done that, nigga, you can be under the knee 8 minutes and 46 seconds. With my impassive, white Caucasoid demonic look. Because that's what the fuck he looked like. He looked like, goddammit, Charles Manson. All right? Showing the world, literally on display worldwide. This is how we do our property.
That's easy for him. Yeah, you're right. Hand in his pocket.
And when this constitutional government, I'm using air quotes here because it is not government, it is a corporation. But we keep saying words like that, bestowing it honor. One of the last things she said right before, back on Arthur Chronicles, Sean, the young lady who's now being made the high priestess, remember when she just pronounced them subjects? I don't know if you've seen the very last of it.
Yeah, I've seen it all the way through, exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She said what? She said what? I cast a spell over all of Arthdal Union. Did she not think she was saying that in her mind? But that's what she said, Rhonda. When she pronounced them, they no longer called themselves by their tribal name. She said, when she was a young woman being trained, she said,
I ain't got that part yet. Damn.
I didn't want to spill it necessarily, but
that's okay. It's all good.
Early on, well, if you've seen enough where she called Usion, the young Igutu that she grew up with, when they were being separated, and she pronounced him to be the dream. She said, "Give me a name. Give me something." She said, "You are the dream of the Wahan," meaning he was going to come and save them, and that's when he got driven. She lamented or regretted later on when she got snatched up and taken to the Union, the Arthdal Union, that she had put a spell on him. And he could do nothing but try to save them. And they're trying. Yep. When she went along with the conspiracy of the overlord who was being coronated the queen, being coronated the king by her, because she was the spiritual high priest and gave the God presence, if you will, for the people to believe in. He left it up to her to come up with a new name. She decided to call them subjects. And in her mind, she was trying to utilize pronouncing that was her base of power, her base of authority, because people received from her, from the mother essence, from the goddess, of calling them subjects. Now, of course, he thinks it's to him, the king, but in her mind, she's saying, this is my last leverage. By naming you, this particular word being subject, that you are subject to my authority. Now, is that, what's different than that than being called an Indian? We already know we've been called a nigger. We already know we have been called property. Our ancestors was the first property in this corporate escapade, outlaw, criminal enterprise, the United States of America. We were made property. So when you go name a person, a human being, their entity, that is what you keep trying to explain to people about casting a spell on a person. You have taken their person, literally, their personhood away from them and made them and into it. Now, in wrapping up, we have talked about this repeatedly. United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, the American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, the United Nations Human Rights Declaration. These are three simple pieces of things which, regardless if they're on paper, a state is how we have sovereignty over ourselves, which means we fall under no one's jurisdiction. No one.
Right.
But it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to believe it.
That's true.
And that's the whole dilemma that's going on. If we watch these people, and Sean is absolutely correct, this is no different than WWE SmackDown and the cage match, brother.
Right.
Whatever barrier we need to have to put up and surround these people till they, whoever may be, the last man or woman standing, and then incarcerate their ass or ship them back just like the motherfuckers did on Pandora and Avatar. And I yield.
All right, amen, bro. Yes. Yeah, you know, while he was talking, I have Pope Paul III, and in his words, the American Indians, he says the American Indians, that as long as we go by that title, they can't do nothing with us, but we take on all these other titles. And like she said, the priestess said, you know, in her last words, as she said, that you can't remember your name anymore. You get rid of yourself. And we need to get back to self, because they have no jurisdiction over us if we get back to self.